Hello, this is Logan Murphy, and today we'll be cleaning up our code a little bit. I made a little checklist to just change things that I found were undesirable. So one of the first things you should do, let's try to start from the top and work our way down, is externalize this Java here. So we're gonna create a new class. We're going to call that class validate, and this class will have any function that validates input. So as you recall, we have all these validations. Validate. We have these 3 validate functions, and we're going to put them here. Format, and we need to bring along with that the imports so that we don't lose them. So we need Java util. In here, import. Okay, come back here. Simple date format. It's another import we need. Format. Okay. Come back here. We don't need that anymore. And we'll also have this. We'll say that this is MySQL related, so we'll put it in our MySQL class, format it, and we also need simple date format for that. Okay, that error is resolved. This is saying never used, so we don't need it. Save it. There's no errors here, no errors or warnings here. Come back here, and we need to change these references to validate dot. Copy it, paste it here, paste it there, paste it there, save it so that it recognizes the changes. This is actually MySQL. Format, save. Okay, so we kind of lost our JavaScript format here again, so let's fix that up. Save it, it's all fixed. So what we're going to do is also externalize this JavaScript. So we're going to add to our JS folder, new, we'll just say file, and we'll call it validate.js, and this will have our validation functions for JavaScript in there. So we need to have the regex and all this, and this is just in case we need to validate for other web pages, which is going to be likely since we need to make a login page as well. Let's try to get rid of this white space that seems to be useless. Okay, so we come back here, and it's looking a little bit cleaner, a little bit smaller, which is the goal. So now that we got rid of that script, let's import it now instead. js/validate.js. Okay, so we externalized that. Okay, so when I was looking at the code, I also noticed that I never changed this back. We don't want to throw errors. Usually want to handle an error by returning a -1 or an error string. You don't want to throw an exception because then the whole page will crash and people will leave your website. Okay. Another thing that you should typically do is when you open a connection, which we open a connection right here, you should always close it. Always. So MySQL close C, that'll close our connection. And another thing that we should do is add CSS to our form. Now we could put that right under this link style, type equals text/CSS, and we're going to make the first table data. So table data that are the first child of this document will be right. Well, text align is right, and table data that are the last child will have a color of red. Now there's lots of ways we could have selected this child, because we could have selected by attribute where the ID ends with _error, so that's going to end up appearing with red text. So if we refresh this and click off this, now it's going to be red text instead of black text, so that the error shows up easier and people know it's actually an error, not just text that's popping out for no reason. So we have that alignment, and also as I was writing the validation for JavaScript, instead of writing date here, I wrote D originally. I changed it. And another thing is that date, it actually needs to be +1. Otherwise it'll be the wrong date. So we have that now. Another thing is, if we are unable to connect to the database, which is what this if is checking for, if the connection is null, then we should have some kind of error saying that we were unable to connect. So let's add another variable here, sign up error, which is going to be initially empty string, format it, and the sign up error is going to say unable to connect the database, please try again later. Okay, which is better than nothing, in my opinion. So that's associated with this, so we're going to put it here, sign up error, format that, come back up here before this gets too far off. Okay, ripped. This needs to be back up here, and this needs to be back up here, this needs to be back up here, put this back up here, and just so that this stops happening, I'm going to also externalize this new file, and I'm just going to call it after the file name .js though, and I'm going to